100. General knowledge, questions and answers. Which is the oldest epic in the world? Answer: the Epic of Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is the semi mythic king of Uruk in Mesopotamia, best known from the Epic of Gilgamesh, written 2150 to 1400 BC. The great Sumerian Babylonian poetic work, which predates Homer's writing by 1500 years and therefore stands as the oldest piece of epic world literature. What is Meghalaya famous for? Meghalaya, abode of clouds in Sanskrit, is one of the seven northeastern states of India, famous for its high rainfall, subtropical forests, and biodiversity. It is abutted by Assam in the north and east, and by Bangladesh in the south. Is Sanskrit a scientific language? Panini's comprehensive and scientific theory of grammar is conventionally taken to mark the start of classical Sanskrit. Is a systematic treatise inspired and made Sanskrit the preeminent Indian language of learning and literature for 2 millennia. What is the old name of Lahore? A legend based on oral traditions holds that Lahore was known in ancient times as Lavapuri, city of lava in Sanskrit, and was founded by Prince Lava, the son of Sita and Rama. Kasur was founded by his twin brother Prince Kusha. Who is the first woman politician in India? Sucheta Krupalani. Sucheta Krupalani, 25th June 1908 to 1st December 1974, was an Indian freedom fighter and politician. She was India's first woman chief minister, serving as the head of the Uttar Pradesh government from 1963 to 1967. Born 25th June 1908, Ambala. Who is the richest family in the world? The Walton family remains the world's wealthiest at $190.5 billion. The Al Saud royal family of Saudi Arabia makes its debut among the world's wealthiest at $100 billion. How deep is the water under Venice? Green and blue colors are deep water, 30 to 60 feet deep at least. The maximum depth found in the Venetian lagoon is 164 feet below sea level. When was the word electricity first used? It is 1600 AD. William Gilbert, England, first coined the term electricity from electron, the Greek word for amber. Gilbert wrote about the electrification of many substances. He was also the first person to use the terms electric force, magnetic pole, and electric attraction. Which is the oldest epic in India? The Ramayana and Mahabharata, which were originally composed in Sanskrit and later translated into many other Indian languages, and the five great epics of Tamil literature and Sangam literatures are some of the oldest surviving epic poems ever written. What does nuclear waste do to humans? As radioactive material decays or breaks down, the energy released into the environment has two ways of harming a body that is exposed to it. Eagle said it can directly kill cells or it can cause mutations to DNA. If those mutations are not repaired, the cell may turn cancerous. Is Pune in Deccan Plateau? The Deccan Plateau consists of dry tropical forests that experience only seasonal rainfall. The largest cities in the Deccan are Hyderabad, the capital of Telangana, Bangalore, the capital of Karnataka, Pune, the cultural hub of Maharashtra, and Nashik, the wine capital of Maharashtra. Which is the highest dam in India? The Tehri Dam. The Tehri Dam is located in the state of Uttarakhand. It is the highest dam in India with a height of 216 meters. It is also listed in the top 10 highest dams in the world. This dam is situated on the river Bhagirathi. In which state does Ganga flow? The Ganga passes through the states of Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, and West Bengal. The Ganga's drainage area with its productive land is helpful for the agrarian economies of Bangladesh and India. Which river has no tributaries in India? There is a river called Bhadra in Karnataka and it's a tributary of river Tungabhadra, which itself is a tributary of river Krishna. Now all the three are rivers only, while Bhadra does not have a tributary, the others two have. Which Chola king conquered Maldives? Rajaraja Chola. Rajaraja Chola conquered peninsular South India, annexed parts of Sri Lanka, and occupied the islands of northernmost atolls of the Maldives. Who is the largest cricket stadium in the world? Motera Stadium. The Motera Stadium, officially known as Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Stadium, is a cricket stadium in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, India. As of 2020, it is the largest cricket stadium in the world and the second largest stadium overall, with a seating capacity of 110,000 spectators. Why are pickled cucumbers just called pickles? The term pickle is derived from the Dutch word "pekkel", meaning brine. In the United States and Canada, the word pickle alone refers to a pickled cucumber. Other types of pickles will be described as pickled onion, pickled beets, etc. Why does my fart smell like rotten egg? Your gas may smell like rotten eggs because of the sulfur in fiber rich foods. Sulfur is a natural compound that smells like spoiled eggs. Many vegetables are sulfur based. If this is causing your flatulence, a simple change in the diet will be sufficient treatment. Why do I fart so much in the night? Most people do not sleep fart frequently. Instead, it happens when excess gas builds up in the body. This can be a result of illness, digestive disorders, food intolerances, stress, changes in eating habits, or hormonal shifts. Snoring during sleep is much more common. Where does Ganga meet the sea? This place is called Ganga Sagar. It is the southern tip of a 20-mile long finger shaped strip of land known as Sagar Island as the western end of the giant delta through which the Ganga passes to sea via India and Bangladesh. Hindus consider the island to be a sacred spot. Why mustard oil is banned in US? Mustard oil is banned for edible consumption in the European Union, USA, and Canada, principally due to its uric acid content. The US FDA requires all mustard oil to be labeled for external use only. In fact, mustard oil for human consumption was banned even in Delhi in 1998 due to an alarming increase in dropsy. What happens when you fart a lot? Farting is normal part of digestion that reflects the activity of the bacteria in your gut. Excessive farting, also called flatulence, can make you feel uncomfortable and self-conscious. It might also be a sign of a health problem. You have excessive flatulence if you fart more than 20 times per day. Why we use vinegar in pickles? Vinegar is used in pickling to provide tangy and sour taste to the desired stuff. For this purpose, pickling, they add some other salty and sour ingredients along with vinegar because vinegar itself is very stingy in taste and it also preserves foods, vegetables, and pickles, etc. What is the main source of water for perennial rivers? Perennial rivers flows continuously throughout the year irrespective of seasons. Mostly they originates from the mountain and water is fed by melting of glaciers. These rivers get water by rain in rainy season, melting of ice in summer and by snow in winter. Where is the river Amazon located? Brazil. The basin is located in parts of six countries: Brazil, Peru, Colombia, Ecuador, Bolivia, and Venezuela. Most of the basin and about two-thirds of the river itself is located in Brazil. Do humans live in the Himalayas? Over 40 million people live in the vast Himalayan region that stretches almost all the way across the subcontinent of South Asia. Quite a few of those people live in Nepal, as three quarters of that country is covered by the mighty mountain range. Why are Himalayas so high? The Himalayas are the result of tectonic plate motions that collided India into Tibet. Because of the great amount of tectonic motion still occurring at the site, the Himalayas have a proportionally high number of earthquakes and tremors. The Himalayas are one of the youngest mountain ranges on the planet. What river runs through Paris? Seine River. Seine River, River of France. After the Loire is its longest, it rises 18 miles 30 kilometers northwest of Dijon and flows in a northwesterly direction through Paris before emptying into the English Channel at Le Havre. Where is the largest coal power plant in the world? Taichung Power Plant in Longing, Taichung, Taiwan, is the world's biggest thermal power station. It is coal-fired power station with an installed capacity of 5,788 megawatts, owned and is operated by the state-owned Taiwan Power Company, Thai Power. Which continent is the most linguistically diverse in the world? African continent. The African continent is home to one third of the world's 6,000 languages, but less than one seventh of the world's population. Europe, which has the reputation for bilingualism due to its many close countries, has only about 300 languages. Where is the deepest place on earth? The Mariana Trench. The Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean is the deepest location on Earth. According to the Exclusive Economic Zone (EEZ), the United States has jurisdiction over the trench and its resources. Scientists use a variety of technologies to overcome the challenges of deep sea exploration and explore the trench. Which ruler took the title of Gangaikonda? Rajendra Chola. The successful invasions of Rajendra Chola were applauded by several medieval Tamil poets like Jayam Kondan in his text Kalingattu Parani and Ottakuttar in his text Ula. After his successful campaign to Ganga's river in North India, he got the title Gangaikonda Chola, the Chola who took the Ganga's river. Does Brahmaputra meet Ganga? Ganga and Brahmaputra meet in Sundarbans in region of Bangladesh. Both are enormous rivers. They spread out to form a delta of many smaller rivers before they meet the sea. What country speaks Urdu language? Pakistan. It is the official language of Pakistan, a status which it shares with English. It is also spoken and understood in parts of India, Bangladesh, Nepal, the Middle East, and many other countries around the world where Pakistani communities have settled. Which is the longest river in India? Gangas. The Gangas, 2,525 km, is the longest river in India and also the largest river in India, followed by Godavari River, 1,465 kilometers long. What country speaks Swahili? It is Tanzania. Swahili has official language status in Tanzania and Kenya and is also widely spoken in Uganda, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the Comoros Island. It is also spoken by small numbers in Burundi, Rwanda, northern Zambia, Malawi, and Mozambique. What happens if you stop eating for a week? If you don't eat at this point, the breakdown of your body will continue and death can occur as little as 3 weeks after you stop eating. If you don't get sick from a lack of immune system, essential vitamins and minerals first. Which country is considered the home of cricket? It was founded as the Imperial Cricket Conference in 1909 by representatives from Australia, England, and South Africa. It was renamed as the International Cricket Conference in 1965 and took up its current name in 1989. What is Punjab famous for? Punjab, famously referred to as the land of five rivers, is situated in the northwestern part of India. This fertile land ranks amongst the most ancient civilizations in the world. Punjab is also famous for its religious diversity, as it was here many religious movements were initiated. What is Hyderabad called? The name Hyderabad reportedly had its origins in an affair between Muhammad Quli Qutub Shah and a local Telugu courtesan named Bagmati. He named the city Bhagyanagar after her, and after she converted to Islam and took on the name of Hyder Mahal, he named the city Hyderabad. Do crocodiles cry? While crocodiles can and do generate tears, the tears are not linked to emotion. The fluid from their tear ducts functions to clean and lubricate the eye and is most prominent and visible when crocodiles have been on dry land for a while. What is exactly alternative medicine? Alternative medicine describes any practice that aims to achieve the healing effects of medicine but which lacks biological plausibility and is untested, untestable, or proven ineffective. Alternative medicine is a term that describes medical treatments that are used instead of traditional mainstream therapies. Does rice cause belly fat? New research shows what many health experts have long said. It is not carbohydrates per se that lead to weight gain, but the type of carbs eaten. Their research shows that people who ate more refined and processed foods such as white bread and white rice had more belly fat. What is the most powerful power plant? The Three Gorges Dam. The Three Gorges Dam in China is the world's largest power station in terms of installed capacity, that is 22,500 megawatts. In 2014, the dam generated 98.8 terawatt hours TWH, holding the record at that time. The annual power output of the plant is estimated at 85 TWH. How many official languages are in India? The eighth schedule of the Indian Constitution lists 22 languages which have been referred to as scheduled languages and given recognition status and official encouragement. In addition, the Government of India has awarded the distinction of classical language to Kannada, Malayalam, Odia, Sanskrit, Tamil, and Telugu. Which rock is used in Gateway of India? Basalt. Built in Indo-Saracenic style, this structure is an arch made of basalt, 26 meters high. The final design of George Whittet was sanctioned in 1914 and the construction of the monument was completed in 1924. The gateway was later used as a symbolic ceremonial entrance to India for viceroys and the new governors of Bombay. Which language has the most difficult grammar? Perhaps the hardest language studied by many Anglophones is Latin. In it, all nouns are marked for a case, an ending that tells what function the word has in a sentence subject, direct object, possessive, and so on. There are six cases and five different patterns for declining verbs into them. How old is Mesopotamia? We believe Sumerian civilization first took form in southern Mesopotamia around 4000 BC or 6000 years ago, which would make it the first urban civilization in the region. Mesopotamians are noted for developing one of the first written scripts around 3000 BC. Wedge shaped marks passed into clay tablets. How old is English? English has developed over the course of more than 1400 years. The earliest forms of English, a group of West Germanic dialects brought to a Great Britain by Anglo Saxon settlers in the 5th century, are collectively called Old English. At what age does a woman mature mentally? It is 32 years. Men finally grow up at the age of 43. A full 11 years after women mature, according to a new survey, a study into the differences in maturity between genders revealed both men and women agree men remain immature well into their late 30s and early 40s, but the average age at which women mature emerged as 32. What is Bastar famous for? Bastar is a district of Chhattisgarh state. The headquarters of Bastar district and Bastar division is Jagdalpur. It was known as Dakshin Kaushal. It is known for the beautiful forests and tribal cultures. Because of this, it is called as the cultural capital of the state. What is the history of iron craft in Chhattisgarh? The wrought iron craft of Chhattisgarh is centuries old and was practiced by the Muria tribes. Wrought iron was traditionally used by the tribal people to make tools such as plows, knives, axes, and also candle holders. How old is the asteroid belt? About 4.6 billion years ago. Asteroids, sometimes called minor planets, are rocky remnants left over from the early formation of our solar system. About 4.6 billion years ago, most of this ancient space rubble can be found orbiting the Sun between Mars and Jupiter within the main asteroid belt. Why Venus is hottest planet, not Mercury? Mercury's atmosphere does not contain carbon dioxide, because of which all the heat is returned to space. Venus contains a high percentage of carbon dioxide, due to which it is hottest planet. What is the minimum tenure of a cabinet secretary in India? It is 2 years. A cabinet secretary is appointed for a fixed tenure of 2 years. According to All India Services Rules 1958, the government can give extension in service to a cabinet secretary provided the total tenure does not exceed 4 years. Which was the first Indian movie come close to win an Oscar? It is Mother India. The 1957 Hindi film Mother India was India's first submission. The film made it to the final shortlist and was nominated alongside four other films in the category. It came close to winning the Academy Award but lost to Knights of Kabira by a single vote. What do ants hate the most? Peppermint is an insect repellent which can help you get rid of ants. Ants don't like the smell of peppermint and are likely to avoid areas that contain traces of it. Prepare a mixture of 10 drops of peppermint, essential oil, and a cup of water and sprinkle it wherever you find ants. Repeat this twice a day. Why don't mosquitoes bite your face? Mosquitoes just find them easier to access there than anywhere else. There could be something about our body chemistry that makes the sweat on your face more attractive than on any other part of your body. There could be something about your aftershave or perfume that attract mosquitoes. How many types of Himalayas are there? Three major geographical entities: the Himadri, Greater Himalaya, Himachal, Lesser Himalaya, and Shivaliks, Outer Himalaya, extending almost uninterrupted throughout its length, are separated by major geological fault lines. Which is the highest airport in India? Kushak Bakula Rimpochi Airport, India's highest commercial airport. Kushak Bakula Rampochi Airport in Leh, Jammu and Kashmir is set to get wings. Yes, the Leh Airport, which is located at 3,256 meters above sea level, will have a new domestic terminal building. What is the capital of Switzerland? Bern. Many people are surprised when they hear the pretty little Bern is the Swiss capital. Surely, industrial Zurich or international Geneva would be more logical, they say, but it is precisely to avoid a concentration of power that Bern was chosen as the federal city exactly 120 years ago. Who climbed the Mount Everest first in India? Atar Singh Chima. Atar Singh Chima, 1933 to 1989, was the first Indian man and 16th person in world to climb Mount Everest. Along with 8 others, he was a part of the third mission undertaken by the Indian Army in 1965 to climb Mount Everest after two failed attempts. How old are Appalachians? Roughly 480 million years ago. The Appalachian Mountains, often called the Appalachians, are a system of mountains in eastern North America. The Appalachians first formed roughly 480 million years ago during the Ordovician period. They once reached elevations similar to those of the Alps and the Rocky Mountains before experiencing natural erosion. Which is first computer virus? It is Brain. Brain computer virus. Brain is the industry standard name for a computer virus that was released in its first form in January 1986 and is considered to be the first computer virus for MS-DOS. It infects the boot sector of storage media formatted with the DOS file allocation table FAT, that is file system. Does RAM increase CPU? RAM and CPU performance. RAM not only allows your CPU, central processing unit, to access files faster, it can also help your processor run more processes at the same time. The more RAM you have and the faster the RAM cycles in MHZ, the more processes your CPU can run. Which planet is closer to the Sun? It is Mercury, zipping around the Sun in only 88 days. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun and it is also the smallest, only a little bit larger than Earth's moon. What is the most expensive cheese in the world? It is Pule, a distinctive dairy product of Serbian cuisine. Pule is reportedly the world's most expensive cheese, fetching 1000 euros per kilogram. What plant does saffron come from? Crocus sativus. The spice originates from a flower called Crocus sativus, commonly known as the saffron crocus. It is believed that saffron originated and was first cultivated in Greece, but today the spice is primarily grown in Iran, Greece, Morocco, and India. What is the oldest name of Delhi? Shahjahanabad. Delhi old name was Shahjahanabad. This name was given by Mughals in the year 1640. Indraprastha was the name of Delhi in Mahabharata era. According to this epic, this land was initially a huge mass of forests called Kandavaprastha, which was burnt down to build the city of Indraprastha. What country has never been in a war? Finland and the United Kingdom carefully avoided attacking one another during World War II despite a formal declaration of war. Why is the moon tidally locked? Gravity from Earth pulls on the closest tidal bulge, trying to keep it aligned. This creates a tidal friction that slows the moon's rotation. Over time, the rotation was slowed enough that the moon's orbit and rotation matched, and the same phase became tidally locked forever, pointed toward the Earth. What is the most common race in the world? The world's largest ethnic group is Han Chinese, with Mandarin being the world's most spoken language in terms of native speakers. The world's population is predominantly urban and suburban, and there has been significant migration towards the cities and urban centers. What is the richest country in the world? Qatar. Qatar is by far the richest country in the world with a GNI per capita of 1,16,799 dollars, more than $20,000 higher than any other nation. The country has more in oil reserves than all, but two other countries worldwide equal to 13% of the global supply. How many countries are in Africa? 54 countries. There are 54 countries in Africa today, according to the United Nations. Is the United Kingdom one country? The United Kingdom refers to a political union between England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, Although the UK is fully independent sovereign state, the four nations that make it up are also countries in their own right and have a certain extent of autonomy. Does Guinness World Records pay? As the world's unrivaled authority on record breaking achievement, our role is to celebrate the world's best, to inspire ordinary people, and to entertain and inform. For these reasons, we don't pay record breakers for their achievements or for carrying out a record title attempt. What is the most culturally diverse country in the world? African countries are the most diverse. Uganda has by far the highest ethnic diversity rating, according to the data, followed by Liberia. In fact, the world's 20 most diverse countries are all African. There are likely many factors for this, although one might be the continent's colonial legacy. Why is Ireland not part of the United Kingdom? The rest of Ireland, six countries, was to become Northern Ireland, which was still part of the United Kingdom, although it had its own parliament in Belfast. As in India, independence meant the partition of the country. Ireland became a republic in 1949, and Northern Ireland remains part of the United Kingdom. How old are bananas fruit? It is about 10,000 years ago. Bananas are believed to have originated up to 10,000 years ago, and some scientists believe they may have been the world's first fruit. The first bananas are thought to have grown in the region that includes the Malaya Peninsula, Indonesia, the Philippines, and New Guinea. Who introduced apple in Himachal Pradesh? Samuel Evans Stokes, Shimla, when noted American missionary Samuel Evans Stokes, who later changed his name to Satyanand Stokes, the man credited with Himachal Pradesh apples revolution, decided to introduce high quality apple cultivation in the state. One factor weighed strongly in his mind was the local climatic conditions, that was, who invented carrots. The modern carrot originated in Afghanistan at about this time. The 11th century Jewish scholar Simeon Seth describes both red and yellow carrots, as does the 12th century Arab Indalcian agriculturists Ibn al-Awam. Cultivated carrots appeared in China in the 14th century and in Japan in the 18th century. What is the sweetest grape? Champagne grapes are probably the sweetest of all. These tiny red grapes are available virtually year round because they are cultivated everywhere, mainly for restaurant use. What is the cost of Kohinoor diamond? Kohinoor is one of the most expensive diamonds on the Queen's crown. The whole value of the stunning diamonds of the crown would account to roughly between 10 and 12 billion dollars. Which is the biggest fruit in the world? Atlantic giant pumpkin. Atlantic giant pumpkin is the world's currently heaviest and largest fruit on earth ever grown. The Atlantic giant is likely a descendant of mammoth pumpkin, which held the world record from 1904 to 1976. What is the smallest fruit in the world? Wolffia. The fruit of species in the genus of Wolffia is the smallest and lightest fruit in the world. Two of the smallest species of Wolffia in the world, the Australian Wolffia angusta and the Asian African Wolffia globosa, are so small that it is difficult to distinguish between the size of their fruits. Who actually wrote the US Constitution? James Madison, also present, wrote the document that formed the model for the Constitution. Other US founding fathers were not there, but made significant contributions in other ways. Thomas Jefferson, who wrote the Declaration of Independence, was serving as ambassador to France at the time of convention. Who is the father of nation of USA? George Washington, father of US country, on April 13, 1789, in a deep low voice, George Washington gave his first speech as President of the United States. This speech is now known as the first presidential inaugural address? Why did Mughals marry Rajputs? Mughal Rajputs' marriages. His widow Rani Karnavati's appeal to Humayun for help against the Gujarat Sultan failed to elicit any prompt response. The rules of the game changed with Akbar. Rajput rulers became allies of the Mughals, but at a price. They were asked to send their daughters to the imperial harem. Who defeated Mongols in India? Alauddin Khilji, the ruler of Delhi Sultanate of India, had taken several measures against these invasions. In 1305, Alauddin's forces inflicted a crushing defeat on the Mongols, killing about 20,000 of them. To avenge this defeat, Duwa sent an army led by Kopek to India. Where is longest day on earth? The northern hemisphere, including India, will witness the longest daytime of the year on Sunday, June 21st. The sun will reach its highest position in the sky, and the shadows will disappear at noon if you are in Ujjain, Gandhinagar, or essentially any place along the Tropic of Cancer on this day. Which country sees the sun last? Samoa. For over 100 years, visitors to Samoa have been able to stand at Cape Mulina, the westernmost point of the planet, and be the last people on Earth to see the sun go down. Where is the first sunrise in India? Dang village. Dang village in Arunachal Pradesh, which is known as the easternmost village in India, witnessed the earliest sunrise in the country at about 1240 meters above sea level. Dang is located between China and Myanmar. On an average, the sun rises at around 5 am and sets at around 5 pm in Dang. Which country is known as coffee bowl of the world? Brazil. Coffee production in Brazil is responsible for about a third of all coffee, making Brazil by far the world's largest producer, a position the country has held for the last 150 years. What is the most expensive tea in the world? Da Hong Pao. Da Hong Pao, Big Red Rope, is a Wui rock tea grown in the Wui Mountains. It is a heavily oxidized dark oolong tea. The highest quality versions frequently sell as the world's most expensive tea. What is the moratorium and how it works? A moratorium period, the technical term for a repayment holiday, is basically a length of time during which a borrower gets time off from his or her loan repayments. That is, you as a borrower need not start paying your installments or interest dues if you are granted a moratorium. What is the rarest blood type? However, in the United States, AB negative is considered to be the rarest blood type and O positive the most common. The Stanford School of Medicine Blood Center ranks blood types in the United States from rarest to most common as follows: AB negative 0.6%, B negative 1.5%. Do babies always have the father's blood type? No, it doesn't. Neither of your parents has to have the same blood type as you. For example, if one of your parents was AB positive and the other was O positive, they could only have A and B kids. In other words, most likely none of their kids would share either parent's blood type. How long does DNA last? About 6.8 million years. Last year, researchers estimated that the half-life of DNA, the point at which half the bonds in a DNA molecule backbone would be broken in 521 years. That means that under the ideal conditions, DNA would last about 6.8 million years, after which all the bonds would be broken. Who invented DNA fingerprinting? Sir Alec Jeffreys. DNA fingerprinting was invented in 1984 by Professor Sir Alec Jeffreys after he realized you could detect variations in human DNA. In the form of these mini satellites, DNA fingerprinting is a technique that simultaneously detect lots of mini satellites in the genome to produce a pattern unique to an individual. What is DNA fingerprinting and what is it based on? DNA fingerprinting is a chemical test that shows the genetic makeup of a person or other living things. It is used as evidence in courts to identify bodies, track down blood relatives, and to look for cures for disease.